Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video, and today we will be talking about John Wall and his impact on the Houston Rockets this season. Specifically, talking about whether or not John Wall has been a negative or a positive impact to this roster. Of course, John Wall brought in last offseason for Russell Westbrook and a first-round pick. We got a first-round pick in return for that trade. And since he's come, he's been on and off for us, I would say. He's had some stretches and some periods of time where he's looked like his old self. And then there are some other periods of time where it seems like for him there's a lid on the rim and he's just unable to hit shots and play efficiently, just play like himself. He's not, really going to the basket. He's settling for jumpers. He's not, finishing at the rim as efficiently as he would. And again, that has been a subject of controversy on social media and just for the Rockets fan base in general about whether John Wall has been hurting or helping this team. And so that's what I want to talk about today. First of all, what I would say is that John Wall, even though he hasn't been elite as far as his play, he's been, very on and off, very inconsistent. He's had some really, really bad games. I think one of the aspects of it that just doesn't change regardless of whether he's on the court playing well or not is his veteran leadership, and that's something that's going to be there regardless of how well he plays on the court. He is still having that mentor ability for a guy like Kevin Porter Jr., who, when you have a guy like Porter who he's had his fair share of off-court struggles, you want a guy like John Wall who will be there to mentor him, to tell him what to do and tell him what's right and tell him what's not, and lead him on the basketball court to be a better basketball player, and also off the court as well, to make sure that he's in line and behaving properly. And I think that in itself, for a lot of people, is enough to warrant that, yeah, he's been a positive for us. And I think for me, that's also a very key factor as well. While it isn't everything for me, I think it is enough that I would personally say that it's been enough for me to say that it's been a positive. As far as his on-court play, he hasn't been his old self by any means, but he's averaging the third most points per game that he's had in his entire career with 20.4. His three-point percentage, I believe his three-point percentage is almost at a career high. Again, this is his fourth highest career three-point percentage at 32.5%. But there was a stretch very early in the season where John Wall was shooting it lights out from three, and I think it is something that John Wall has been doing worse from beyond the arc ever since the All-Star break. He's had that sort of struggle because he had a little bit of a knee issue, and that's limited his play. And we see that not just in John Wall's play and his efficiency, but also in just the way he gets to the basket. If you look at John Wall's career attempts per game, John Wall is currently attempting around 29% of his shots from 0 to 3 feet of the rim. So that's basically at the basket, which is way down from his last full season healthy, which was with the Washington Wizards, where he was getting to the rim in the 2016-17 season. John Wall was getting to the rim, and his attempts at the rim made up for 38% of his total shots. In 2019, they were 37%. And in 2018, they were 31%. So John Wall, it's not just on the eye test. It's not just that you can see that he's taking less attempts at the rim. Statistically, he's taking less as well. And it's by a pretty decent margin, too. Around 8 to 10% that his attempts at the rim are down. And I think that's been a key factor in limiting his efficiency. He has obviously improved as a three-point shooter, but his bread and butter is getting to the basket. And when he's not being able to do that as well, his efficiency is obviously going to drop, especially when you consider that John Wall is also, at one point, was a pretty efficient player at the basket range. He was shooting in 2018-19. Yes, it was just 32 games, so pretty small sample size. He shot 50.7% at the rim. He shot 62% at the rim, 0 to 3 feet. In 2018, it was 63%. In 2017, it was 59%, and in 2016, it was 59% as well. So John Wall was shooting around 60%, mid 60s, high 50s to mid 60s as far as his percentage at the rim. This season it is 57%, so it is down as well. So even when he is getting to the basket, his efficiency is down as well. And if you look at his attempts from mid-range, those have taken a small step up. He has now shot 14.5% of his shots from 3 to 10 feet, which is around the paint area, which was just 7% earlier, and around those percentages earlier in his career. He's taking a lot more threes now than he ever did. 34% of his shots coming from beyond the arc, whereas it was hovering around 30% in 2019, 25% 2018, and 19% in 2017. So John Wall, obviously his attempts at the 3-point line are up as well, and that is, again, like I said, a very, very key factor in his drop in efficiency. And it's something that it has been very detrimental to his play on the court. He's been really struggling in efficiency, especially over the past few games. John Wall has really suffered in his efficiency in his play, and it's been something that's been very noticeable. He has, there's no sugarcoating it. John Wall has cost us a lot of games, even in his last game against Miami, 4 for 14 from the field. If you look at Houston against Phoenix on April the 12th, 5 for 20 from the field. Houston against Indiana, 12 for 28, which isn't terrible, but it's not great either. If you look at Memphis on March the 29th, 2 for 12 from the field, so it was really dreadful. Against Minnesota, that loss, the very infamous loss, I think that Minnesota loss, we blew a 22-point lead in the fourth quarter. That was really when people started to think, oh, John Wall, what are you doing? Where he shot 6 for 25 from the field that game, so really bad that game. And that's a product of his 3-point attempts going up, and his ability to get to the basket and finish at the basket has been really bad for John Wall this season. But again, I think that his veteran presence and his veteran leadership and his ability to mentor a guy like Kevin Porter Jr., I think that in itself is enough for me to say that John Wall has been a positive for this team. He's been a positive impact. He's been, I think he's been a better fit and a better guy for us than what we would have had with Russell Westbrook. I think with Wall, you get a guy who he's fine. If John Wall can accept the role of being a mentor and just helping our younger guys develop, helping Kevin Porter Jr. Develop into a better player, I think if he can accept that role instead of trying to be the hero in close game situations and trying to carry us to victory, if he can just accept the mentor role, I think he will be even better than he has been for now. He's been, in my opinion, so far in Houston, a slight positive, but I think if he embraces the role of being a veteran leader, he will be a very big positive for the Houston Rockets. And I think if he can accept that role, he will be just an amazing player for us. Even 1, 2, 3 years down the line, I think he'll do very well for us if we do decide to keep him around. And that's it for this video. Again, let us know what you think about John Wall and his brief tenure in Houston so far down in the comment section, and we will talk about it there. And of course, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.